to OverBoost 24. OverBoost is a podcast interview series featuring discussions with speedrunners about their history in speedrunning and gaming and the runs they're passionate about. I am your host, PMC Trilogy, and with me today is Illumina. Illumina, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, hello. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so, I always like to start these off with current events. And since I started following you and what you were up to, I noticed that you've been really successful lately. So first off, let me congratulate you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, sometimes I feel weird about bringing it up if the streamer doesn't bring it up themselves. But I think you had as much tweeted a few weeks ago, something to the effect that you had. You had hit certain numbers on Twitch, on YouTube subs, stuff like that. And so I wanted to ask, do you feel like that was like, have you been doing anything in particular, or is this just sort of building on the success that you've already had?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say, like I've been doing like YouTube stuff for a while. Mm-hmm. So like, it's kind of, it's just hard to say. Like I've been doing this for a while, and like, I don't really expect anything at all. So, at the end of the day, I just like play video games. Like that's my forte, and it's just like with Twitch and YouTube, like doing all these things, it just kind of worked out in a magical way, I guess. So. Yeah, it's really cool to see happen. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting because I noticed, especially too, your last two videos. I think in preparing for this, I had watched the edited down the all advancements in under 15 hours. I had a specific question about that video, which was, do you do the editing yourself, or is that something that you have someone who does that for you?
Yeah, so I wish I could say I edited that, but. I do not edit my videos.
It's a lot of work.
So yeah. So like, I'm not really a good editor. I mean, I used to like edit all my videos, but then I actually met someone like a couple years ago from now. Their name is Nikki, and she so basically we would play like a lot of games together and stuff. And it's kind of crazy. Like we were playing a game, and then she was recording it and stuff, and then she like edited it and like showed me like her edits of us playing, and I thought it was like the funniest thing ever. And like when she showed me, I was like, I want her to be my editor. Like, so it was kind of like just luck, like that I like met her and stuff.
Cool.
Like, yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's very interesting the way things come together. One thing I did want to ask in particular, and maybe since you're not the editor, you don't have the answer to this, but I was watching and just kind of taking what you were doing with the the highlights of this all advancement speedrun, and I noticed the music selection. A lot of the music used was ragtime music. Is that something that you're a fan of, or is that all your editor?
No, the music's all my editor.
Okay.
Like, it's all, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I like the music. I like the way it's all edited. Like, it's all good. Like,
oh yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, I'll try not to put myself into the interviews too much, but one of my hobbies is piano, and I play a lot of ragtime. So I was like, oh, wait a second, I know this. Very weird. And the other thing I wanted to ask about in terms of recent events was, I think this week I tuned in one day to your. So I have a very boring day job, which allows me to have a lot of Twitch content on in the background. And one day this week, I had on, you were participating in a Twitch Rivals stream for Minecraft. How did you get involved in that?
Yeah, so I've actually been involved in 3 Twitch Rivals events so far. So basically, to summarize them, the first 2 were completely different. They were like more so like actually put on by Twitch themselves and Twitch Rivals. So I got second in both of them. Like they were team based, and it's actually funny. Like we could go like this kind of comes back to the all advancements run, but so the run was like a bingo, like your typical like bingo. It's like very popular in speedrunning and stuff, where you have to do goals and stuff. So it was that, but with advancements. So you had to get specific advancements, and it's very complicated how it works. I'm not gonna go with like two in, but basically there was two of them. I got second in both of them, and then I'm trying to think here. Like, oh yeah, so the all advancements part, or like the advancement part of it, that's kind of like what made me want to do the all advancement speedruns, because I was like, oh, doing the advancements is really fun. So yeah, that's pretty much why I did that speedrun, because of the Twitch rivals.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Ties together.
Yeah, so that was really fun. And then the latest one, it was actually an event hosted by a Twitch streamer named Mizkiv, who is pretty popular. And yeah, so it was I'm gonna get the name wrong. It was based off of a thing in World of Warcraft. I think it's based off of, well, it's basically domination in Call of Duty.
Okay.
I don't know what the equivalent in Warcraft is, but it's like a Warcraft map. It's like Arathi something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name, but yeah. So basically, it was that, and then there was like 8 teams. I was on one of the. It was 8 teams of 8, so there was like a lot of people, like 64. So yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, we did up winning that one. So that was cool.
Congratulations! Yeah. Now, of course, Twitch rivals too. That means that comes with. Is there some money changing hands there?
Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of money put into the Twitch rivals events. Like the first one, man, I won like $3,000 the first one, and then the second one I won like 4,000, and then the third one I won like 1,000. So yeah, there's a lot of money put into it, which is crazy.
Cool. Well,
yeah.
Let's go back in time now. Let's go back to the start. How did gaming and you start? Where does that come from?
Yeah, good question. So basically, gaming is a thing where I've had I've had gaming involved in my life like pretty much almost as long as I can remember. And I think the reason for that really is because I have 2 older brothers, and they were the brothers, who were like really into like gaming and stuff, and were into it before I even like knew how to like think for myself. Much,
yeah.
Like that age, So like, yeah, games have been pretty much, my entire life. And then our first console was the N64. Yeah, so by the way, I was born in '99, so yeah, N64 is the first console, so that's like right about the same timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like the first games I remember are like GoldenEye, like Wave Race 64. I loved Wave Race. Some other games. I remember Blast Corps was one. We had Hey You Pikachu. Just like a lot of random games. I don't know.
No, those are good ones. I love Blast Corps. Actually, I think one of my previous guests was a Blast Corps speedrunner. So
really? That's cool.
Yeah. Peaches. Actually, Peaches might actually have been speedrunning before like the N64 came out. So he's ancient. But no, those are all good games. So the N64, was that you said that was kind of the first one you remember growing up with, because it's something that your older brothers would have had. Did they have stuff going back before the N64, or was that really the oldest piece of technology sitting around in the house?
That must have been the oldest, because my brothers are not that older than me.
Okay.
Like, we all grew up together. Like they're both older than me, but one's just only 1 year older and the other one's only 2 years older. So it's not like that big of a difference. So we pretty much grew up together. So yeah, I would say N64 is the first for sure. And then, and then we pretty quickly like moved on to the GameCube. Like I remember getting the GameCube for Christmas. Like, then yeah, from there just evolved from there. Like the GameCube was the first console where like I played a lot of like. Mm-hmm. I played so many GameCube games. Like that was
what sort of games? What was hot in the GameCube for you?
So I remember for Christmas we got the Zelda collection, like all the Zelda games, like Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and also had the Wind Waker demo on it. So we played that. I remember playing that demo a lot, even though it's like a 30-minute demo. Mm. Like I would just play the same 30 minutes over and over. And then I played Majora's Mask. I played Majora's Mask. I think Majora's Mask was our favorite one. Like we played that a lot. That's such a good game. It's actually my favorite game of all time, I think, Majora's Mask. Like I love that game so much. And then we had Luigi's Mansion. And then like I don't know, we played a lot of GameCube games, like pretty much almost all of them, like all the popular ones. We played those pretty much, yeah.
So was your house pretty dedicated to Nintendo then? Because I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah, early on, actually, I think one of my brothers like wanted like PlayStation, but my dad would just get us Nintendo. But I was happy with Nintendo. Like Nintendo games are awesome, obviously.
Oh yeah, plenty of good Nintendo games, no doubt.
Yes. So eventually we did like broaden our consoles. We did eventually get the 360 when that came out. We got the PS3. Eventually got the Wii. So yeah, we got all of them.
Okay, so eventually, yeah, the whole collection. So you're broadening at that point. Have your brothers stuck with gaming as much as you have? I mean, maybe it's hard as much as you have, but
yeah, that's true. Yes, they still game a lot. Yeah, for sure. Like, and also we had a PC growing up, so I guess we played a lot of PC games too. But yeah, so my oldest brother is really good at Call of Duty. That's what he plays. I used to play Call of Duty, but he's like pretty good at that. And then my other brother plays like League of Legends and Hearthstone and all those games. So yeah, they play games a lot for sure.
Cool.
Still.
No, it's lots of times when I've had this conversation with people, the person I'll be talking to, the interview guest, will end up being the sibling who stuck with gaming and by extension kept all of the the family ancestral items. And now I have to ask, who is the N64 still around? Is the GameCube still around? Who has them?
No, unfortunately, like we sold most of like our old stuff. We did not keep them. Like I remember. Oh, this is kind of a funny story.
Please,
like, maybe an embarrassing one. But I remember when. So I think we've only had one garage sale and one garage sale only because, like growing up. So I had like this, or we had the N64 right, and they sold it in a garage sale, like. And I was actually like crying, like in the garage sale. Like I didn't want them to sell it. I was like, "Why are you selling it?" And then they sold it. So I think that's why my family never did garage sales after that, because I was like making a scene. So yeah, I was definitely into gaming at a young age. If I'm like crying over a gaming console, So yeah.
No, I hear that. I definitely. Yeah, sometimes when things get broken or sold and you weren't expecting it, it really gets you as a kid. That is quite understandable. So going from there, you already mentioned that the PC gaming was happening. You that was definitely a thing. Because I think so much of this interview is going to be about Minecraft in particular. I then have to ask, what was your first experience of Minecraft? How did you come to learn about the game?
So I first started playing it in 2011, like summer 2011, and I first heard about it because my brother watched Minecraft videos on YouTube, and I wanted to like get the game for him. Like it wasn't even like for me. I wanted like him to be able to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up the game, or like I started playing it myself just to like I knew nothing about the game. Like I had no idea what this was. So like I was playing it and I like did not get it at all. Like it was unlike anything I've ever played before. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like in most video games, like there's an objective or something, but I was like, oh, this game's bad. Like I don't know what I'm doing. And I didn't play for like a couple months after that, but then eventually I started like getting into it, like playing it more, and then just like I just got hooked eventually. Like at some point the game just hooked me and I kept playing, like around 2011, I would say.
So you've been pretty consistent with it. It wasn't something where you had that initial time with the game and then you only later came back to it for some other reason.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on and off with the game. Like sometimes I'll play it like my history with it is like sometimes I'll play it, sometimes I don't, That's just how it has been.
Sure. So besides Minecraft, and I think you had mentioned maybe previously you had, some period of time where you played Call of Duty. Have there been other multiplayer games that have been big for you? I mean, you already mentioned some in the context of your siblings, Call of Duty, League of Legends, Hearthstone. But I'm curious what you've spent time with.
So growing up, I would say, Club Penguin was like the first game that I put a lot of time into. I think.
All right, I have to ask a really basic question because all I know about Club Penguin is it's like the number one go-to for the sort of person who posts the like get banned from something speedruns, which I don't like at all. I think it's a bad meme. But
That'd be fair, yeah.
what is Club Penguin?
So Club Penguin is like a game for little children.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good for me. But yeah, it's like it's just like I don't know, it's just a game where you're a penguin. You can have your own igloo. You can meet other waddle around, meet other penguins. There's games, there's like mini games around. It's just like a basic like online, your basic kind of like free to play game. Like there's not a lot to it really, but it's it's fun like just messing around as a kid. I don't know.
Well, what came after Club Penguin then?
So after I put a lot of time when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out. I like played that so much. And like I was never really into like first person shooter games at all, but like for some reason I don't know, I got into Modern Warfare 2 because my brothers and stuff, they played it all the time and I got into it. So I was really into Call of Duty for a couple years. And then Roblox was another game. Like that was like 2009. I was really into Roblox, which is like a lot of people don't really know this, but Roblox came out before Minecraft. Like Roblox is pretty old.
Huh.
So
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. I played a lot of I played Roblox probably consistently for 2 years, like 2009, like the 2 years before I played Minecraft. I was playing Roblox for like 2 years consistently before I found Minecraft, and then once I found Minecraft, I never went back really.
That's interesting. So do you feel like Roblox sort of prepped you for the Minecraft life?
They're very like two different games. So the thing about Roblox is that it's not really much of a game. It's more like an engine. Like it's something that people like. The point of Roblox is to like make games within games, like or within the engine. Like the Roblox is like a game engine. So there's no like actual games. It's all like user created. Like it's all community based. So it's very different. Like, but I would say that playing Roblox really helped me with Minecraft. I don't know.
I mean, just trying to get a sense for things. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's maybe talk about speedrunning in particular then. Now, what was your first exposure to speedrunning?
So I think, it's really hard for me to say because with speedrunning, I feel like I've known about it for a while. But I guess I can try. Okay, so I remember like probably like in 2008 when I was like really young, I was really into I really got into this Twitch channel called the Mario Marathon, which is like I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's basically just a marathon of like Mario games.
Mm-hmm.
That was hosted by like these three guys at the time. And I thought it was really cool. Like I didn't really know much about like older games, like pre-N64 games. Like they did like Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, like all those games. And I thought that was like interesting. So at that time I was like learning about like all these like old games, like like all these NES games and stuff. And then eventually I learned about like speedrunning through that. Like I learned about Mario speedruns. Like I remember watching Andrew G speedruns like around that time as well. Like watching him beat Mario in like 5 minutes. I was like, wow, how is that possible? That game's like, because I played Mario. Like I played all the Mario games at that time. So I was like, wow, he can beat Mario in 5 minutes. And I remember seeing the famous Super Mario Brothers 3 test back then. Like
that's a popular one that people bring up. Yeah.
So I saw that one like around that time as well. I thought that was so cool. And then, I've probably seen a lot of speedrunning videos at that time. And I didn't really think too much about speedrunning. I was just like, well, that's pretty cool. But then, like, fast forward, like, until 2013 is when, like, speedrunning started to become big on Twitch with Narcissa and Siglemic specifically. Mm-hmm. They were, like, the two big speedrunners. And I thought it was, like, it looked so fun. Like, speedrunning was, like, I don't know, it just looked so fun to me. I was like, I want to try this out, like, see how it goes. And then Minecraft just happened to be a game at that point where I put a lot of time into, and I was like pretty not known, but like I put a lot of time into Minecraft at that point already, and was like known on a server. So I was like, yeah, let's start speed. Like, no one really did speedrun or Minecraft speedruns. Like, it was not like some people did, but it wasn't like a known thing. So I was like, I'll do it. Like, I'll see if it's fun. And then I did a speedrun of the Dropper. Like, that's one of the first speedruns I did and uploaded.
Yeah, I have your speedrun.com profile open right now in front of me, and I noticed that the only one that says 6 years ago is a speedrun for the Dropper. Yeah,
yeah, it's almost 7 years ago now. Yeah, but yeah, so that was like one of the first speedruns I've attempted, and it's also one of my, I think it's my most viewed video too. Like my first speedrun, or like one of my first speedruns that I attempted, has like 5 million views or something, which is insane. So that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that, because like that was just my first speedrun. Like looking back, it's not a really good speedrun because it's like my first one. But I guess that just showed like how like Minecraft speedrunning wasn't like developed where like I could just come in and do a speedrun and it gets so popular. It's like crazy. I don't know, but yeah. So that was like, and then from there, just like I kind of branched off from there. I actually like. I know I'm getting a bit off topic here.
No, please. I mean, you're already getting to some of the stuff I'm about to ask next. Okay. So like, keep going.
So basically, oh, by the way, I guess I'll just say like the Dropper was a map that I chose. It was just like a random map. It was just a popular map that like I liked a lot. So that's why I did the Dropper. If anyone was wondering, but. Anyway, so to get onto that, so that was like I did that like late 2013, and I was like really wanting to get into speedrunning at that point. Like really wanted to, get into more stuff. Like, like Ender Dragon, like killing the Ender Dragon, like all that. But then in like late 2013, our computer broke down. Like, so I wasn't like able to play really at all, like much at all. And at that time we couldn't like buy a new computer because so for the entirety of 2014 I did not have a computer, like, so I couldn't really play Minecraft much. I had to play on like my brother's bad computer or like my dad's work laptop or something. So yeah, I didn't play Minecraft much at all for 2014. But the Christmas of 2014 I got a computer. Like I had to wait a year. So and then from there, I was like, all right, I'm just going to speedrun. Like, I'm just going to like, I was like hungry at that point. I was like, all right, I want to like really get into speedrunning. So yeah, that's when like it really started. Like I really started getting into it.
It's really interesting. And this is a true statement that in 2014, if you didn't have a computer, you couldn't play Minecraft, which sounds so funny to say in 2020 because Minecraft is on everything now, and you would have had some other option. One thing I wanted to ask about for historical purposes, what was the primary mode of organizing Minecraft speedrunning I mean, you mentioned the first one you really uploaded was this run for the Dropper, but I think had you been somewhat involved, and where was the community organizing? I'm sort of curious just to hear. Minecraft is popular, and it was popular even in the early 2010s. So what was the mode when was it like Skype groups, Google Docs? How did that get together?
Yeah. So, okay. So I guess we can talk about this. Yeah. So this is kind of funny. So basically, there's like different ways to speedrun Minecraft, like many different ways. So there's like custom maps, and one of the most popular custom maps for the longest time was a series called Super Hostile, and it was made by a person named Vex. And those early maps were like really, really popular back then. And people, those were like one of the first things, like those maps were like the first thing that people speedran. So like the first Minecraft speedruns were like on this map. So there was a community revolved around that at first. I would like that's probably like the first community in speedrunning Minecraft was that. So I did have that to like look at, like, as a speedrunner, be like, oh, this community exists. I wasn't like involved in that community ever, but I kept note of it. Like, this is interesting. Like, there's a community for this, and I wouldn't say like the vanilla Minecraft community existed until Bismuth, who is a YouTuber now, speedrunner YouTuber. He did a AGDQ speedrun of Minecraft of Set Seed Glitched. and that's what started the vanilla community, is that run. Because there was no Skype group for like a vanilla community at all. I think the only like resemblance of a community that existed at that time for vanilla was the SDA forum for it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that was it. So once Bismuth did his run, that inspired a lot of people, including me, to like give vanilla a real shot. Well, I couldn't at that time because I was like, I didn't have a computer, so I couldn't really do it. But it made me want to do it. And then there were some runners that came in. Like one of my best friends to this day, Blue Crystal. And I still talk to him every day pretty much. He's like my best friend. He started from watching Bismuth. Like he got like the world record. Like Bismuth had the world record, and then Blue Crystal got the record. So that's how I met him. And then from there, the community just formed from there. Really, like
cool.
At least the Western community.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask about that too. So, and this I'm personally curious in, because one of my things is if I said Armored Core, does that have any meaning to you?
No.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'm just going to turn into dust over here.
No, that's a game.
It's a series of games, and it's a series of games that's mostly popular in Japan. And so when I got into speedrunning them, I was interacting with some very helpful, very nice Japanese runners, and I noticed you just said that you kind of traced the beginning of the vanilla Minecraft speedrunning community to this event where a lot of people saw Bismuth at a GDQ. But you mentioned that's the Western community. What have your interactions been like with the Japanese community? Do you have anything you would want to say about that?
Yeah. So this actually goes in so smoothly. So basically, no one knew about the Japanese community at that time. Like when Bismuth did his run, no one in the Western community knew about the Japanese community. They have already existed like for a couple years at that point, but like, I guess no one just knew about them. Like how are you supposed to know about a community when they're like on like a different websites than you and stuff, like, so it's like we didn't know about them. It wasn't until late 2014 is when we started knowing about them, or like around sometime in 2014 is when a Japanese runner started uploading runs. And we thought they had their world record, like, because they were uploading on YouTube. And like, oh, this person probably has their world record. But no, so we eventually found out that there's a runner named Taro Kitchen who's like much faster. In fact, the person who we thought had world record, their time was like around an hour. But we didn't know at the time that the world record was like 40 minutes. And this is for random C glitches, by the way.
Okay.
So this is not what Bismuth did.
Yeah.
Bismuth did set C glitch, and then Japan only, like, the Japanese community pretty much only did random C glitchless. So, which is killing the Ender Dragon without using a seed, like a set seed. So it's randomized, and you can't use duplication glitches or like any abuses. Mm-hmm. Pretty much just to explain that. So yeah, so we found out about Taro Kitchen eventually. It's like, man, this guy's really good. He's like 20 minutes ahead of what we thought the record is, or at least that's what I was thinking at the time. It's like, wow, that's crazy fast. Like at the time, that like blew out like my expectations of what you could do with that category. So yeah, it was crazy seeing how fast he was compared to everyone else. And then we just found out about the Japanese community eventually. Like we found out they had leaderboards. We found out more about Nico Live. So yeah, so that's pretty much how we found it.
That's really cool. I recommend that to anyone. If you're playing a game, especially an older game, be sure to to the best of your ability, look at places like Nico or the Chinese website Bilibili or stuff like that, because I think the same experience that you've just described in the Minecraft community is something I've had now with multiple old games, where some runner is like, hey, I did a speed run of this like 10 years ago and it's 10 minutes faster than what you have. So enjoy that. Let's get some takes about speed games. Now I should mention that of course you've done a lot of different categories, mods, etc. of Minecraft. So when I ask this question, feel free to be as specific or as general as possible. But what would you say is your favorite speedrun that you've done? Just like speedrun game / category. Again, I know Minecraft has a lot of flavors and a lot of options, so I want to give you the opportunity to make that as specific or general as possible, as you desire.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot I could choose from, really. Yeah, I don't know, Minecraft, random C glitchless, just any version is so fun, just because there's a lot of adapting, a lot of thinking, as like the meta progresses for like these categories that are like really random, it starts to become more just grinding, really. But it's still like you still have to think a lot. I would say like they get more tedious over time, like the more you do it. But I still have fun with them, like even now. So
What about
yeah,
go ahead. Random C glitchless?
Yeah, if I had to choose one.
What about the flip side? What? Because I know you have other games. You have I was actually surprised because I said, okay, Minecraft log, Minecraft categories, and I scroll down and I start seeing some real like juicy morsels down here, like the Ratatouille game and some other stuff. What's the worst speedrun that you've ever done? I'm not saying it's Ratatouille. I've seen the Ratatouille speedrun and it looks pretty good, just for the record.
Oh yes, thanks. I think it's a good speedrun. I think it's the best speedrun. No, I'm just kidding. But what's the worst? Ooh,
the one that you least enjoy doing. I'm not asking you to attack a community here or something.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I would say Baldi's Basics, because that's just running down. That's just okay. So that speedrun is pretty much just walking around, doing math equations, and then hoping everything goes right. You're just hoping that what you're doing is going to work, and that's the speedrun, pretty much. So that's probably the worst. It's not fun at all. I don't know why I did it.
That seems pretty fair. I can't really. Sometimes it's like that too, though, where you play a game with few features, and it turns out when you don't have features, that means you don't have interesting routing decisions or improv, and you don't have interesting glitches, and nothing happens from there. What about a speed game that you would like to learn to speedrun, but you haven't gotten around to it either because you don't have the time, or it just doesn't fit in with what you're doing currently?
Yeah, so pretty much a lot of games. Like I want to speedrun a lot of games, but I don't really have the time right now. So maybe down the line I'll get into some more games. I really like Source games. Like I'm a huge fan of Source games. Like I like Portal 2. I really wanted to get into like Half-Life 2. I thought that game looks very interesting. It's a very broken game, but I like that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Half-Life 2 is something. I like Nintendo games, obviously. Like, I grew up with Nintendo. I wanted to get into, like, Mario 64. I've done a bit of Mario 64. I've done some 16-star speedruns, but maybe some other categories. And then Super Mario Sunshine is a game I like. That I want to learn. So yeah, a lot of games, I would say.
Cool. No, those are all good flavors of things. I know. Recently I had M Sushi on as a guest. I had a lot of fun to talk about Source stuff, and I don't know if I've had anyone who's done Sunshine yet. I could have one of my guests did do Sunshine, but I actually interviewed them before they did do Sunshine. So well, let's talk about you and specifically streaming. So we talked about when you started doing speedruns, and you were uploading those speedruns at the time. At what point did you really make because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you do the YouTube and Twitch full time? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point were you able to sort of make that, or did you decide to pursue that as what you wanted to be doing?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Okay, so I would say, I don't know. Okay, so if
you're going to divulge something, you don't have to. I don't.
No. I'm just trying to
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so basically, this is good because we can talk about this. Mm-hmm. So SGDQ 2019 was when I really started to well, after that, we can talk about the run in a second, but after that, I started getting viewers and started getting an audience after I did that. So I'd really say that's when I started I was oh, I could probably pursue this and do YouTube and more Twitch stuff and really see what happens. And yeah, so it really worked out. It kind of worked out perfectly because that's right when I got out of school. So yeah, so I was well, I don't really have any plans for anything, so I might as well just do this, and my dad's supportive about it and stuff. So it just worked out. Like, it was like a perfect storm. Like,
Awesome.
really, like,
No,
yeah.
that's great. You know what? It's 2020. I love good news. Tell me good things. You're right. Could use more of that. All right. So here's a question I had in mind. I mentioned I watched your most recent YouTube video, which was the edited down clips of you doing this speed run that you got the record in for the category, but it was still a run that took you just under 15 hours. That's a pretty long time. And the question I have is, I'm going to say, from where I am on the timeline, you're on the younger side, so I don't know how much you think about this, but do you take any steps in terms of health, back health, hand health, things like that, avoiding repetitive stress? Have you thought about taking preventative measures?
Yeah. So, well, for me, like, I try to make it so I never stress myself, like stress my hands, and like whenever I'm playing, like usually when like my hands like hurt or like something hurts, I just stop. Like I just like don't even continue. Like, I always do things responsibly. I don't like overwork myself. So, but like doing like those very long categories and like very endurance based, it's mostly just making sure that I'm like drinking lots of water, or like eating healthy, like, or like eating right, and taking breaks. Like, I definitely took breaks in those speed runs, like to like go eat and
Even in the edited down version, that was apparent. I think there were some food breaks that ended up being highlighted.
Yeah. So yeah, just being responsible. I don't know, just don't overwork yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. If something's causing you pain, pay attention, do something about it, right?
Pretty much, like, your pain is literally your body saying no, just stop.
Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is related then. Now, this is Minecraft, which I'm pretty sure again you're playing on PC, but you grew up with a lot of Nintendo consoles, other consoles. Can I get some controller hot takes? Some best and worst.
Oh, okay, sure. You just want me to go at it?
I don't want you to go at it. I want you to just maybe you already know. Maybe you can deliberate. You can mention why. You can go into as much or as little detail as you like.
Okay, so basically, I think the keyboard and mouse is also the best for anything. I've really turned into like a PC person. Like, I'm all about PC right now. I mean, I still play consoles, but I feel like the keyboard and mouse, ergonomically, nothing beats it. It's really good. But if we're talking about consoles, I love the GameCube controller. I think the GameCube controller is one of the best controllers I've ever used. I think the PlayStation controllers suck. I've never liked them. I'm sorry to PlayStation fanboys, but I don't know. I like the Xbox controller better. Just putting that out there. It had to be said. Sorry.
Now, with those controllers, are there things that you feel like you value the most? Because I find a lot the breakdown on, do you like GameCube, Xbox, the DualShocks, comes down about like which parts of the controllers you're using more. So I feel like when it comes to like people who use the D-pad more, I hear more DualShock preference, especially because like the GameCube and the 360 pad have terrible D-pads. But if you're hanging out mostly on the sticks or like one stick, you're going to see more GameCube, Xbox. I'm just curious what you value more.
Obviously it depends on the game. So, but yeah, I value, like, I really like the Xbox, like for first person games a lot. Like, when I played Call of Duty, it wasn't on a PC, it was on Xbox. Like, that's how I first started playing it. And I really like those for like first person games, like the Xbox controller. So honestly, I've always loved first person games like the most out of like any type of game. I don't know why, but it's just, so that's why I like keyboard and mouse. They're just perfect for like any first person game. So.
No, I definitely agree. Now, before we exit this topic, though, I am curious, since you brought up keyboard mouse, do you have any preferences with that? Are you really into mechanical keyboards or anything interesting?
Yeah, so I have like the true gamer setup. So I have like the big mouse pad. My mouse is a Razer. It's called the Razer Viper Ultimate. It's like one of the best rated mouse currently on the market. So it's like it's really good. And then so I have for my keyboard I use a Ducky keyboards, or I have two keyboards that I'm using. One of them is MX Browns, which is a very standard switch, and then I'm also started using MX Clears, and what those are, they're just Browns, like pretty much the same thing as Browns, but they're heavier, like they take more forward.
Okay.
But I like that. I like having that for some reason. I don't know why. I just think it feels nice. So
yeah, no, I mean it makes sense. Honestly, I think that sort of tactile feel is irreplaceable. I mentioned earlier I play piano, so certainly, like, let me assure you, having feedback on the keys is really, really essential. That sort of thing. Let's move on to some other takes here. So, seems to me like the Minecraft speedrunning community, like many other communities, is situated pretty comfortably with a lot of what they do available on speedrun.com. And I think this is now the first interview where I've had a chance to seek from my guest their take on the Are you familiar with the recent speedrun.com news?
Oh, which news? There's tons of news.
Well, so the news that I'm talking about is specifically just the general premise of that this ELO organization has purchased the website from PAC, the previous owner.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
And so what I mean, I'll tell you. Let me maybe do some table setting, because I feel like I've seen two competing schools of thought here. One is that the website was having a lot of slowdown, page loading failures, etc. It seemed like whoever was trying to maintain it either couldn't put enough effort towards it or weren't doing anything. I'm not going to speculate. But hopefully having an actual business that maintains websites like these would improve things. And then I think the negative side of it that I saw on Twitter was that a company like this would start paywalling features that were otherwise considered essential uses of speedrun.com. And so, being someone who's involved with with a big community, I was curious if you had if you felt one way or the other, or maybe you could also say what you would like to see in the future now that this has happened.
Yeah, very good question. So I don't really have any strong feelings about it. I think that it's, in theory, a good thing if it's done right, and I hope the this website's handled well. I hope that it improves, because the website was maintained by PAC, and it's pretty, like, I kind of got the feeling that the website kind of overwhelmed him with, like, because the website's gotten so much bigger, like, since he first made it. Like, it's actually kind of insane, like, what speedrun.com has done for the speedrunning community. I remember wanting a website like that for the longest time, and then we finally got it. I was so excited.
I wonder how many people would like flinch if you say Speedrun Live leaderboards still. I feel like that was like a ghost in the or a mirage in the horizon, and then speedrun.com came along.
I wanted the Speedrun Live leaderboards for the longest time, and then I remember that. Also, we were using Google Docs, like the Minecraft speedrun community was definitely using Google Docs back then, and then there's also the Skype groups, as you mentioned. So so there's definitely a lot of that, or like there's definitely that back then. But anyway, back to this. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Like, I don't really know. Like, I mean, if I had to make a prediction, I think it'll be fine. Like, the website will be fine. I don't think they're gonna do anything too. I mean, at least I hope so. I hope they don't do anything too weird with the website. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, the wait and see approach, I think, is pretty much where I am at too.
I mean, I want to be optimistic about it. I hope it's good.
Yeah, my hope is that any sort of changes would also be implemented so slowly that if there were negative community feedback, that it would change the direction of things. That's let's hope for the future. Good things, right? Enough of this year of 2020. All right, so before we get maybe into some of the specific runs, focusing I think mostly, as you've hinted on Minecraft random seed glitchless runs, I wanted to ask, do you feel like when it comes to speedrunning that you have a particular mission statement?
Mission statement.
Yeah, mission statement. That's right.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. To be the best there ever was. No,
no. I mean, that's different. Some people love the competitive drive. Like that's not a like.
I'm a pretty competitive person. So true. There's a bit of that, but also I think it's fun. It's just having fun more than anything. So I do have competitive drive. So it's half and half. Fun, competitiveness. They link together in some way for me.
Yeah, no, that makes. I mean, that's part of the fun of speedrunning as well. Is that it flows into between your collaborative and competitive efforts, and also just sort of goofing around. But let's talk about some in-depth stuff with the Minecraft run. Now, in preparing for this interview, I watched 3 particular runs. I think we already mentioned one of them, which was your SGDQ 2019 run. Which was any percent random seed glitchless, and then I also watched 2 other runs that you had linked me to, which one of them was a 2353 run, which I think was and then so there are versions here. This is something I had to research when I was preparing for this interview. What the deal with the different versions was. I looked into it a little bit, and then one of the other ones was these 2603. 1.14 random seed glitchless run. So I will be linking all of those. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on a podcast distribution service, the links to all these videos will be available in the description area. Now, when I asked you what your favorite run was, and I think you gave the answer pretty much Minecraft random seed glitchless, you talked a little bit about some of why you like it. I want to just ask that sort of again, which is why Minecraft random seed glitchless, and also like why that over the other runs as well, or also if you wanted to talk about if you have a particular favorite flavor, because I noticed as well, there's the pre was it pre 1.9 or and then the 1. Something to 1.6. So I just wanted to give you a chance to talk about your favorite flavors and why it is that you like random seed glitchless.
Yeah, so basically there's 4 different categories for killing the Ender Dragon. So there's set seed glitchless, random seed, and random seed glitchless. So set seed is pretty cool, but one, it's really short. It's like the world record now has gone crazy. It's under 3 minutes, which is insane. So another reason, so that's one reason why I don't like set seed, is just how short it's gone, especially over time. And then another part is glitchless. So the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of glitches in Minecraft is because the duplication glitch makes it so like it's just like you can literally duplicate anything at any time you want. So it's very broken, and I feel like glitched runs also like are very short. So like they're both short on like both sides, like set seed and random seed, or random seed glitch, set seed, and set seed glitchless. Like all 3 of those, very short, not much to them, but I still like doing them from time to time. They're fun categories to like just do once in a while, in my opinion, just because they're short, not much to them, but. Random seed glitchless is, in my opinion, the best because one, it's more like traditional Minecraft in the sense you're not like glitching the game or anything. I feel like Minecraft is best when it's played like that, when you're like, playing it in the way where like, I just feel like it's kind of hard to explain, but I feel like Minecraft is very fun in that sense because that's kind of like what the game is like all about, like getting your wood, then making tools, and then like there's a progression. So that's what makes it fun to me, is like doing that like progression and also trying to like optimize it and stuff like that. So I think that's why I like it the most. And also random seed is like very, it's very, you have to be adaptive, you have to like adapt to things, and there's also like on the fly routing, and it's routing in the sense of that, every time you do a run, you learn something new, right? So like, okay, I shouldn't do this next time, or, you like learn like as you go on, which is kind of cool. Like not a lot of speedruns are like that. It's a very unique speedrun. There's not like too many other speedruns like that, like random seed based. So I think it's just unique, and very, very like anyone can do it. I feel like anyone can have fun doing it. It's like I just think it's fun,
Yeah, I hear that a lot when it comes to people who do speedruns that have more random elements than not, is that it becomes a vehicle for learning more about the game, because you end up being presented with so many situations over time, and that it really kind of gives you a chance to dig in. Now maybe I missed this. Did you talk at all about? Do you have a favorite version of the random seed glitchless?
Oh, yeah.
When I say version, I mean which of the version numbers?
Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry. I would so 1.7. They're all very different. Okay, so I'll explain it a bit more. So before 1.9, the game was much different. 1.9 is really an update that changed a lot of things in terms of the progression of the game. So 1.7, it's pretty old Minecraft at this point. That's like 2014 Minecraft, or like 2013 Minecraft. It's pretty old, like 7 years. But 1.9 came out in 2016, and that changed pretty much how the end works. Like it changed a lot of things pretty much. And for the longest time, we thought 1.9 was slower than 1.7, which it actually is. Until 1.14 is when it started becoming faster, like the meta has progressed. So 1.9 to 1.13 are considered just not very good versions to run. I don't think anyone should run them. They're pretty much 1.7, but worse, pretty much. But then in 1.14, they made it so that you can get ender pearls through trading much easier, because you can do a bunch of strategies. Like the strategy is to like get TNT, or like get lots of wood, like blow up houses that have a lot of wood, and then you get sticks, and then you can trade sticks for emeralds. So like that's what 1.14 is. Like 1.14 made that possible. So then 1.9 plus became viable. Like that's what made like newer versions viable, as that strategy. So once we just eventually it took a while, but eventually we discovered like, oh, this version's actually good. Like this strategy's OP. So then we split the categories because of that. And then 1.16 came out, which introduced another strategy where you can trade gold with piglins. So you have a chance of getting pearls if you trade a gold, like a gold ingot. And you can also get gold easily in the nether by like, gold spawns all around now. And it's like, so you just trade gold with the piglins, and then you get ender pearls, and you can just get ender pearls right away. Like theoretically, you can get ender pearls in like under a minute. So that's what 1.16. So there was 3 splits, which I wasn't like expecting. Like, for that, like I was the one who decided 1.9 should be split. Like no one else thought of that, but I was like, we should really split these. So they did. And in my head, I wasn't like, oh yeah, there's going to be another version we need to split. That just kind of happened. So yeah, 1.16 came out. It's much faster. Like the world record is like 5 minutes faster than 1.14. So yeah, so basically that was just an explanation of all it. But I don't know. I like all of them for different reasons. Like I would say I like the newer ones. Like the newer versions have grown on me. Like I have the 1.7 record, but I think 1.14 and 1.16 are my favorite, just because I don't know. I played the newer versions a lot more recently, and I think at first I wasn't sold on like the newer versions of the game, but they've really grown on me. Like they really have, and I think they're great versions. And I would say like either 1.14 or 1.16, but if I had to choose one, I guess 1.14.
I have to ask a really, really noobish question, which will show how long it has been since I last played Minecraft. How easy is it to manage all these different versions for a runner?
I think any runner could get into like go from one version to another very quickly. But I will say getting into 1.14 actually took a while for me, like to get not a while, but like it took longer than I expected it to. Just because 1.7 and 1.14, like they've added so much. Like they're like completely different games. Like 1.7 and 1.14 is like insane, like an insane difference. So that took a bit getting used to, but yeah, I mean, like it doesn't take too long, and like to go from one to another, in my opinion, like. But they're definitely like very different. So I would say it's hard to be like really good at one and really really good at another. But yeah.
So when it comes to all these, the different versions and the different strategies you have, it was really interesting to me because I was really curious. You had given me this random seed glitch list, a few different of this, what I thought would be the same category, but there was a really interesting variety of strats depending on, for things like when you were farming the ender pearls and things like that. I wanted to ask if maybe there were some particular techniques either that you wanted to talk about because you really liked them and enjoyed doing them, or also if it was something that you had a hand in developing or creating.
Yeah, so for 1.7, the record that I still have, I got the record like earlier this year, like pretty early in the year. It's 23:53, I believe, and then that was with. So basically, in the three different versions, 1.7 and so on. The reason why they're split is because there's three different ways you get the pearls, and the way you get the pearls is so important. Because if people don't know, you need pearls to enter the end portal, like to get to the end of the game, and you need like about 12 of them. It depends, but essentially you need like 12, which is a lot. Like you need a lot of pearls to get, and so the strategy of getting pearls have developed throughout these three versions. So in 1.7, what I do and what's in the record is I build a tower. So it's kind of complicated to explain if you don't know Minecraft, but I'll try my best. So basically, what you do is you build a big tower, like a really, really big tower. So you go up, you can set your spawn point in Minecraft with a bed. So what you do is you set a spawn point with the bed on top of the tower, and then you have it so below, like on the ground, like on the surface or below the tower, like at the beginning, you like jump down the tower and you land on like a ladder or a water to like survive, because that makes sense. So jumping in water, yeah. So that's just Minecraft. But anyway, so you jump down and you survive, and then mobs. If you build high enough, mobs will some enemies of Minecraft will despawn if you're high enough. So what you do is, Endermen have a chance of dropping pearls, which is the thing that you need that I mentioned. So basically, you just have to kill a bunch of Endermen. That's the strat before 1.14, pretty much. It's just killing a bunch of Endermen. So you build this tower, and then you jump off. And if you see Endermen, great, you kill them. And then you collect their pearl, and then you die. So once you die, you respawn at the top. And then you're so high up that mobs don't spawn, and then they'll instantly despawn. So there's an instant despawn mechanic if you go far away from mobs. So that's why you're so high up in the air, is that you're despawning mobs. So when you jump back down, there's a new set of mobs. So you can get even more Endermen. And you can keep doing this, like killing Endermen, dying, fall down, see if there's Endermen. Like you can keep doing that like really quickly. So that's like the way you get Enderman, and it's that strategy's been known for a while, but it's always been questioned if it was viable for world record, because it takes a while to like build the thing. Like you have to it takes like a while to build, and like get the materials to build it. So a lot of people question like, is this even going to work for world record? But eventually we got it optimized to the point where it could world record, and so. Yeah, I got the world record with it eventually, and that's where the world record stands, is using that strategy, which is a really cool strategy. Like, I really like it, and it's really confusing if you don't really know much about Minecraft, but yeah, it's really I did not come up with the strategy. That actually was developed by Japan. Surprise. So yeah, shout outs to Japan once again. And then 1.14, I don't know who came up with the strategy. Basically, what you do is you get a desert temple. You get a bunch of TNT from a desert temple, and then you blow up villagers' houses to get sticks. And you get those sticks for emeralds, and you trade emeralds for ender pearls. And because you can blow up so many houses so quickly, you can get a lot of sticks really quickly. So basically, you just get the ender pearls really quickly just by blowing up houses, which is really funny strategies, like blowing up a village. I've always liked that, but yeah, so that's what you do. I don't really know exactly who developed that strategy, but
yeah, no, I think, but if you had asked me after watching the videos to pick out my favorite things, it was the Ender Pearl methods for both of those are just so incredible. Because my guess was exactly what you ended up saying, which was that spawning so high causes the mobs to despawn, and then when you fall back down, you get a new set of Endermen. I had really stopped playing the game before there was too much trading of villagers, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on with blowing up houses. But cool, cool that those mechanics are there and you're able to take advantage of them. I mean, honestly, that to me is really neat. Is that when features are added that are relevant to a speedrun and create really different flavors of speedrun over different versions is very neat.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so a lot of people are like, or I would say for like speedrunning as a whole, there's always the question of like with games, like especially newer games, when like patches come out, it's like, what do we do now? Like, what like do we keep the patches as the same category? Do we make a different category? Like, what do we do? And I feel like Minecraft's in the fortunate position of where like, well, people like Minecraft's very divided on like old versions and new versions. Like a lot of people love the older stuff and a lot of people love the newer stuff. And I think it's really cool that we divide like old and new. And also we're really fortunate that in Minecraft, you can just like in the launcher, you can choose whatever version you want to play. Like literally any version, you can just choose right there and there, like what version you want to play. So.
That is super fortunate. That is such a useful thing. I've definitely been in situations where a game comes out and it gets patched, and sometimes it's the end of it. I think weeks ago I had someone on who talked about the Blair Witch video game from like a few years back, and that had out of bounds glitches, but it had no physical release. So once it got patched, no one saved the old version, and that was pretty much the end of the Blair Witch speed game, because no one wanted to actually do it as intended. So sad time. That's really cool. It's just, I guess, shout outs to Mojang or Microsoft or whoever for providing that functionality.
For sure. I'm glad to use this.
So going forward, do you have future plans? Do you have goals right now? Are you going to become the best in this category? What's the future for Minecraft speedrunning with you? Well,
my goals right now are pretty simple. I want to improve my 1.16 time. I don't know. The world record is very lucky right now. Like it's under 15 minutes, which is insane. I don't think anyone's going to beat that for a while. Maybe if someone gets lucky, but I'm not expecting to beat it. But I want to like improve my 1.16 time for sure. That's what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable little bit. Just grind that category. Then I'll go back to 1.14 once I get a time I'm happy with for 1.16. And then after 1.14, who knows? I'm just focusing on these two categories for the time being. But
no,
I love custom. I want to get back to like custom maps eventually. Like, the cool thing about Minecraft is you can make, stuff in Minecraft. Like, there's so many cool maps. Like, there's one of my favorites is like there's a map called Edgecraft, which is Mirror's Edge in Minecraft, which is just a park map. It's a very simple map, but it's like really cool, and just like there's a lot of cool maps like that I want to speedrun, but right now I'm just focusing on vanilla. So I'll probably get back to those eventually, but yeah.
No, that's really cool. I mean, that's a benefit of running a game that is so popular, especially a game that already facilitates user created stuff. I mean, certainly it's true. Even when games don't facilitate user creative stuff, people find ways to make randomizers and things like that. But certainly. It's in the blood of Minecraft. So to have that opportunity to move on to stuff like that is very, very cool. All right, let's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I really like games that really make it about the community, or like, I was talking about like I don't really play Roblox anymore, but one of the reasons why I like Roblox is because, like I said, like it's not like a game where like, oh, here's the game, like play it. It's more like, all right, here's the tools that we have, like make the game, or like make things from what we're giving you. Like, and I really like that. Like, this isn't really related to speedrunning, but Osu is a game I like, which is a rhythm game, and that game is just like, okay, here's the tool, like you like, and it's just like there's a community based on this tool that was like given to them, like, which is just a rhythm game where you click circles, and like people figured out like, oh, like, like how to like play circles in ways that like make it fun. And it's very simple, but yeah, that's kind of cool how like communities form out of like simple stuff like that.
No, absolutely. It's super neat. And I think it's neat too, just because and speedrunning already has a lot of people finding ways to form games, even in unintended ways. But it's just as true that the stuff that is intended to be a tool also works out pretty well. As we have discovered with Minecraft. Let's start to wind things down. Let's get to some of the exit questions here. One of the things I like to do in this interview series is carry on a question from my previous guest to the next guest, and so on. My previous guest, English Ben, had this question for you, which was he wanted your best gaming-related horror story, which was to say something that happened with you, like either a console broke or or something. For Halloween is soon, and with that in mind, what is your best, gaming horror story?
Oh, oh man, this is gonna be really put me on the spot for this one. I don't know, like when I was a kid, I was scared of a lot of things about video games. Not that like the games themselves posed any scary things, but I was a kid and I'm just scared of things. That's just how kids are. So I'm just trying to think if I have like anything specific. What, Minecraft has a lot of bugs that make things seem scary. Like Minecraft is very much like, there's a meme that like Minecraft's a horror game, and it kind of is. If you go into Minecraft, like a Minecraft world, knowing nothing about the game, you're probably gonna get spooked like about some things. Like, there's a lot of things the game doesn't tell you that you're probably just gonna get spooked by. But I will say, like, one of the weirdest glitches in Minecraft is that there's like a texture glitch. So basically, or I don't know why it happens or how it works, but basically for like villagers and like for some things, they show the wrong texture, like a completely different texture. And I'm pretty sure like the iron golem in like one of the villages was like a cat once, like a cat texture, and it looked so wrong. And I was like, when I saw that, I genuinely got scared. Like I was like, why is this happening? And I just feel like the texture glitch is just cursed in general, like, because like sometimes it genuinely catches me off guard and I get spooked by it. So like I don't really have a better answer, but
that's good. That's good. Oh wait, that might have come through. My dog is trying to spook us.
Oh no.
All right. We're getting close here. How about so that does mean though that I do need from you a question for my next guest. Now, all you know about this person is that they are into gaming. They are a speedrunner. They're going to be a guest in this podcast. Question can be gaming related, speedrunning related, or could be just general, but the question will be presented to a speedrunner.
Okay. What? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to
please
think really hard about this one. Just what is the hardest trick you've ever done in any, not even in a run, just hardest speedrunning trick ever? You could have only done it once. You could have done it multiple times. What is the trick that you're most proud of that you've done? with a controller with your hands.
That'll be good. I'm excited for that. No, I will spoil for you. You might know this person's been coming up in the world recently. They speedrun a popular game as well. So, but anyway, where should people? Oh, actually, what future games are you excited for? Anything coming up that you're saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this?
Ooh, good question. I play a lot of Overwatch. I'm excited for Overwatch 2. You know, there's not really not a lot of information about it or anything. I'm just excited about because I like Overwatch, but it's a bit stale now, so I like more content. So that's a game I'm looking forward to. But there's a game. So basically, to explain this game, it's called Hightail. The most popular Minecraft server, and it has been for years now, is called Hypixel. And the person who made that, his name's Hypixel, same as the server. He set up a studio to make their own game, and it's basically a game. It's called the Hightail. It's basically kind of like a Minecraft clone. It's basically just another Minecraft type game, except it's going to be obviously different in their own way, but it's going to be very similar to Minecraft. And I'm very excited to see where that game goes. The fact that Minecraft could have a big a competition between another game where they're also doing new things and I just think it could be really cool to see is how Hightail would compare to Minecraft, how good it would be. They have a lot of exciting things planned for that game and a lot of exciting announcements, and I've been very much been looking forward to Hightail. I don't know when it's going to come out. There's no release date or anything, but I'm very excited for Hightail just to see what it's going to be like.
No, that's cool. I haven't heard of that before, so I'll have to go and check that out. But no, that's interesting, especially how the history of it, where it comes from. All right, so we're about done here. Where should people be looking for you and what you do?
Yeah, so I have YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, pretty much the only three things I have. Twitter at Illumina HD, just random stuff. YouTube, YouTube channel, mostly stream highlights and personal bests and just stuff like that. So if you want to check out my YouTube, it's actually right there, Illumina HD. And then likewise, my Twitch is right there, Illumina137. I haven't streamed much recently, but gonna get back into streaming more. But yeah, so I just stream mostly Minecraft speedruns right now. No plans to stream anything else other than that, but maybe in the future. But yeah, if Minecraft speedruns or something interests you at all, or even just anything Minecraft related, I plan on just doing other Minecraft stuff, not even just speedruns. But
and of course, if you're not on YouTube or something, you're listening to this on on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes. The links again as well for his stuff will be in the description, underneath the podcast. But Illumina, thank you so much for giving me this time.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Now, I do need one more thing from you, which is that I always like to end the show by using a cheesy catchphrase, let's boost on out of here. And then when I say that, I need you to give me your best rocket engine noise. Are you ready?
Rocket engine.
Yeah, like a rocket engine taking off.
Okay. I'll try my best.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening. Let's boost on out of here.
Whoa.